We're live. Shawn, you're with Weichert Financial now?
I am. And where are you now?
I'm with EXP now. I'm loving it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
virtual, so we were like made for this virtual reality change that's happening around us right now. Do you want to go ahead and start?
Well, yeah. So dealing with the industry, dealing with lots of buyers, lots of sellers. I guess a question that I have is a lot of people who are homeowners are constantly asking me, is now really the best time to sell my house? And from the buyer's perspective, I know that there's a lot of buyers out there, and I know the rates are low. So what are you seeing on your end as far as the listing side? Tell me about it.
Well, what I'm seeing is the ones that are pricing 10% below what we're deeming as market value right now, they're getting a lot of traction virtually, of course, and we're getting offers and putting things under contract, and things are still closing for us. It's different, but it is still moving. So my advice would be not to overestimate their pricing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing right now. It all boils down to the price.
So I know it's changed drastically. I know you've been in this business for a while. How has it changed for you guys? I mean, obviously the market's there, and you're telling me that they're selling their houses. How has it changed for you as far as getting people to see these houses, maybe getting them in the houses or not in the houses? How is that working?
I mean, it depends on comfort level. We are still doing some showings, mask, gloves to get up. We pre-record these ahead of time and just do a screen share. That's been working for us, hosting virtual open houses that way. So we're not physically in the home when we're doing the virtual opens. Now we're just pre-recording it and walking people through as they come in. We're doing the Matterport, and they feel like they're there. So we're getting offers with just the virtual tours pretty much.
I know I read something that says that 25% of homes right now are being purchased sight unseen, which is insane to me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. People are just pulling the trigger now. I mean, information overload, right? Everything is online. You're seeing floor plans. You're getting a video tour without leaving your home. You're literally sitting down on your computer and you're clicking around the house. You're doing a 360 turning around. You get to see all the angles. So there's no reason not to.
So it seems like if I'm looking to sell my house, it's kind of the best of two worlds where I'm not having a bunch of traffic kind of come through my home. My house is out there for people to review. We already know that 92% of people find their home online. We know everyone's home online right now. So is it kind of a win-win, would you say?
I think it's definitely a win-win. And it's more efficient. Everybody is saving time right now. Nobody's stuck in traffic rushing to an appointment.
What's crazy to me is I'm seeing constant multiple offers on properties. Just almost every property I'm seeing are multiple offers. Are you seeing that quite a bit?
Yes, I'm still seeing that. And it's motivating and exciting. And it gives people that sense of security where it's going to be okay. I think that we're going to be fine. I think that this is the way that things are going to be, and that this market is here to stay. What have you been seeing in terms of how your process has changed?
Well, for the mortgage world, everything has changed. From the types of loans that are available, you have more banks that are tightening their belt because of risk. So some banks that were allowing, the 3% down payments are now only allowing 20% downs. Credit scores are constantly changing. I mean, banks still want to lend money to those people who can, really afford it. They're definitely shying away from, the lower end credit scores and the lower down payment. They're still there. But as far as the process goes, like you just said, it's all virtual. We have virtual closings all day long where the attorney goes over the documents the day before. You have a mobile notary meet you in your front door, and you're signing documents, and it's a wrap. It's not changing any timelines, so it's business as usual. I mean, for most part,
it's more efficient, basically.
100%.
I think that's the consistent feeling across the board with everybody. Is they just feel like, I feel like personally I'm busier now than before, and I'm doing less running around.
I definitely think this is our new norm. And from, I guess, from the seller's perspective who are selling their homes, this is advantageous for you to sell your home or list your home now because you have more buyers right now looking at properties, wanting to jump all over them, and there's no foot traffic. So to me, I'm just sitting back and putting my house on the market. 2 days later, I've got 4 or 5 offers. That's just insane, right?
You only have to worry about inspections, and that's it.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
It's amazing.
What do you think as we get hopefully out of this pandemic? Do you think that the market's just going to explode? Do you think we're going to kind of wheeze into it, or what do you think?
Just depends on, if you're conservative or if you're going to be taking risks. And I think that now is a good time to take risk and move forward on either selling or buying with the interest rates being so low. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I've been doing this since 2000. I owned my own mortgage company a long time ago and sold it. The rates now are the lowest they've been in 50 years. So, I'm talking to buyers and sellers all the time. And the one thing I tell buyers is the ideal buying market is when the rate is as low as it can be, which means it's cheap to borrow money, right? If it's cheap to borrow money, then I can buy more home for less, right? And then the next thing, if you're a buyer, is there has to be inventory. So those two components right now are essential. So right now we're looking at the lowest rates we've seen in 50 years. And as you're saying, there's people out there that want to sell their home. Yeah. So from a buyer's perspective, this is the best time to buy a property. From a seller's perspective, it's the best time to sell a property because it's the best time for buyers to buy a property, right?
Exactly.
It is essential that people understand this because what I'm seeing is the people who are tentative, the people who are saying, well, let me just wait and see kind of what happens, are going to end up spending more money. Bottom line.
Yeah, they're going to get hit in the back end by waiting. They're going to miss the boat and they're going to probably regret it later. I think that with, cautious research and just doing their comps and having a trusty agent and a mortgage rep, they'll be in good hands and they'll be able to make the best out of their investment. I have another question for you. So we went over the guidelines. What products are you offering right now?
Well, all the products are still available. They're just few and far between. Give you an example. People who were looking at doing cash out refinances are no longer. People can't do them right now because they're a high risk for a bank. Oh, wow. People looking at doing like a line of credit or a HELOC is really no longer because it's considered a high risk. So some of those higher risk loans are really, they're few and far between. But all the other products are still available. It's just making sure that, as a buyer or even as a seller, you want to make sure that the person who's buying the home has a lot of options available to them, because what's happening every week is guidelines are constantly changing. 6 weeks ago, 620 credit score, you could do all day long. Today, it's more 640 or 660. So as you can see, banks are really trying to tighten their belt. You got to know the guidelines. There's always a lot of ways to skin a cat, if you will. So you just got to be creative and make sure that from a mortgage perspective, we're talking to the client, finding out exactly what they need. From the seller's perspective, I always tell them, if you have somebody who's buying your home and they're giving you a pre-approval, make sure that pre-approval is a week new or less. Because if they're coming with you at a 30-day pre-approval, it's probably not good because guidelines have changed so much.
Right.
You may want to ask them to get pre-approved again, just so you have the most recent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. That's actually very valid. I'm actually under contract with something right now, and 1 minute she was qualified for whatever product she was borrowing, and I guess they had to switch lenders because the guidelines switched on her and she no longer qualified. Luckily, we're closing next week, but that was a little scary. Yeah. So that's a good step.
And people who, 6 weeks ago who were getting deferred for, their employment were still able to get loans. Now, if you're not collecting a consistent income, then you're no longer approved. So that's another conversation I'm suggesting that sellers have with the buying agents is, hey, look, is your client still working? Has anything changed their employment? Because if so, that's more risk.
Yeah. definitely, especially with everything going on right now. Yeah, one day to the next, just like that, it could change.
It is insane.
All right, well, thanks so much. I'll go ahead and I'll drop your contact information for anyone that has any mortgage questions, and we'll take it from there. Hopefully, we get to do a couple more deals this year.
What towns, what counties are you like really in that you have a really good
So
drop?
I'm covering right now Hudson County. That's hometown, so my stomping ground right there. And then I am currently also adding in Union County and Essex.
Nice.
Yeah,
Busy lady.
I'm seeing a lot of buzz there. But I have team members across the board that are also covering Bergen and Passaic, so pretty much northern New
And
Jersey.
and are you seeing, I know we talked about this before, are you seeing a mass exodus from New York really trying to move to the burbs, especially in those areas?
Yeah, I'm actually getting a lot of traffic from people leaving the Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, and they're coming on over, looking at the burbs over here. And yeah, it's a new wave, and another new wave. Yeah, of New Yorkers coming this way.
Awesome. Always good to see you. Amazing agent. Been working with you for a while.
Likewise, likewise. I can't wait
Good.
to physically get together again once all of this dust settles.
I know it. I know it. Well, thank you very much for letting me be a part of this. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining in.
Talk to you later.